Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hello everyone, Craig here with another great business to discuss on this episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. Today's guest is Marty, and she's selling her display advertising business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. So welcome to the show, Marty, and how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Good stuff. I'm looking forward to talking more about your business. But before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of the business. It's a display advertising business in the pet care niche created in August 2019. The average monthly revenue for the business is $6,665, and it makes an average of $4,968 net profit each month. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 50877 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So now that I've given a general overview of the business, let's have a look at what's included in the sale. We have the domain including all site content and files, 2 additional unused domains, an email list with 6,386 subscribers, and social media accounts for Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Okay, Marty, let's hear from you. Can you tell us a little about your background in building and running online businesses?
Yes, I've been in this online game, I guess you could call it, for about 10 years, running various in the pet space. I've run different sites that aren't in the pet space, but I would say my specialty is running, building, maintaining, but growing engagement in such social media platforms and engaging content, both evergreen and viral, in the online space.
Okay, and what does the social media presence look like for this business? Have you built up a following on social media? Or?
Yes, with the Facebook, there's about 160, give or take, 160,000 followers. I'm not paying for followers. They get about 5,000 a month just on Facebook. People really like the content. They like everything from the viral content to the evergreen content to, memes, photos, different infographics we share. There's also a pretty solid Pinterest account, which I started, and there's about 5,000 followers there. You get a good amount of traffic from it. And then also the search, because there's so many SEO articles on there.
Excellent stuff. Sounds like some good diversification. And through the social, you get most of your traffic organically, or do you run paid social ads as well?
No, there's no paid advertising.
Okay.
It's all just people like the content and people share it a lot. I know how to share content that is engaging and gets a hook and gets people to want to click on it. And usually if they click on it, they want to share it.
Absolutely. Excellent stuff. So how come you chose this business model that we have in today in particular?
Because it's something that I have experience with and I've proven to be good at it. And I was curious to see if I would be able to build something on my own from scratch in this niche. And I was able to do it. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. How come is it that you're selling the business at this point?
I am 110% interested in getting off of social media.
Okay. And if you were to grow the site and keep it on, what were some ways that you would try to grow it?
Something that I would suggest, which I know other people that run similar sites, and I would suggest outsourcing to get some, like a virtual assistant. You can find Upwork is a great place to look, just to get, an affordable person to serve as, a day-to-day manager for, checking on the posts that are going out, monitoring comments and such. I'm mom. I have 3 kids, work full time. It's hard for me to be everywhere at once. So I definitely think getting more eyes looking at the business would definitely be something great that's affordable and cost effective that could increase the revenue, the traffic, just the look of the business. Make sure, the way people are now, they're very nice. I'll get messages, oh, this person, this. And a lot of times people don't realize when there's a comment on Facebook and it's the same comment over and over, it's just a bot. It's not an actual person doing that. But I've been very careful to grow the business in a way that shows that I actually care about the people that read the articles and click on the articles, and I engage with them. And that's something I would also suggest is keep up with that engagement, even do more engagement. People love that. They want to know that you are an actual person and you are engaging with them.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a solid way to build up a big following of sort of loyal fans for a business.
Yes.
It's definitely worked for you. So it seems that 2020 was a big growth year for you. What would you attribute that growth to?
Well, a lot of pet people were at home reading more online. Also, I think it just really just hit a good groove, and I was able to dedicate a lot of time to it over that last summer. My kids, they're back at school. I'm very busy. School's a little different now for a lot of people. And, I really just hit the ground running with it. I was able to find some good content. I'm very good at curating the stories, and that's something I would suggest is to curate. I really don't try to copy stories on the internet. I just happen to see an interesting story. I'll reach out and I ask if I can cover their story. And so aside from the evergreen content, that's obviously original content, I don't copy, I don't plagiarize. If anything, people like to take stuff off the site because it's good. But, just continue to do that to keep finding more interesting stories that people like, and especially uplifting stuff. I try to stay far away from the negative. If there's not a happy ending, I don't want to cover it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that gives some great insights to the sort of type of brands that you've built up here. Is there anything that you've learned from this business that you would apply to future sites or businesses?
Definitely. I love the trying new things. I've done everything from funny photo roundups. I've engaged with users like, hey guys, share your funniest photo of your pet doing XYZ, and then rounded those photos up. And then, I've really allowed people to be a part of the brand, and people, I think, really enjoy that a lot, and they feel connected. And if anything, the followers are so nice. I mean, I know I won't get that lucky again, but I think that the reason they're so nice is because I've showed that I cared. And I probably could have been making more revenue, to be honest, but I care a lot about quality. And I'd rather new posts be going out daily versus keep sharing old ones over and over and over and over. And plus Facebook, the algorithm doesn't like that anyways. So I try to be very conscientious of how often I share things and allowing new content to go out every single week, every day, as a matter of fact.
Absolutely. So that's sort of what's worked for the business, some of the strategies. What about the things that didn't work out for you when growing this business?
There is an Instagram account. I don't feel that Instagram really, the return on investment isn't so great. I mean, I never paid for anything there, but I would definitely say that, just focusing on the Facebook, the Pinterest, I really think there's something big going on there. With only, I want to say we have like 4,500 followers, you're getting over 2,000 hits a day just from Pinterest. And I'm talking that's like 5 minutes a day of actual work. Imagine if you could spend an hour a day doing that. Just like I mentioned before, hiring a virtual assistant to cover the Facebook, that's definitely something I would just assign somebody just to the Pinterest and just have them doing that and making pins. And definitely, content is great, but I think quality outweighs that. But there's, I think, right at about 600 articles on the site. That's a lot to play around with. So I've definitely been busy writing.
Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt about it. So what about with the business now? What type of work do you do in this site for maintenance?
I generally write now about 5 articles a week. I'm an extremely fast writer. I'm a professional writer. But for example, I wrote an article this morning. It took me about 20 minutes. Now I just need to go proofread it, add some photos. So I really only spend 10 hours a week on the site at the very most. The scheduling is easy because there's only 6 slots go out a day. I was doing 3 articles from the site, and then I was doing 3, I space them out about 2 to 3 hours at a time, probably about 3. And then I was doing, either a meme or a question to ask the audience, like, what's the last thing your XYZ did, or, what have you. And I think if you just would boost it up more, now I'm playing around with 4 articles a day and just 2 memes or questions or videos or what have you. I definitely think also growing the business, I would reach out and find a good videographer that you can really groom and make, really quality videos and get original content for these videos. The videos that we use now are, made off of stock images, stock footage. They're not as great. Definitely, you can try different things. And that's the beauty of social media, is that if it doesn't work, you just delete it.
Absolutely, yeah. What would you say is the content that you've had the most engagement with? Would you say video or text format or images?
Evergreen content for sure. Why does my blank do this? Why does my blank do that? Yeah, just something about the content that happens to have a question in the title does really well. Because a lot of times I'll ask the people, does your blank do this? Because that way they're going to read it. They're going to feel a connection to it if their pet is doing that. And then they're going to be like, does your pet do this? Share an example or whatever. And a lot of times you'll get photos. You get so much engagement just on these posts because people feel like you're connecting with them.
Absolutely. What skills or requirements do you think there are for someone who's not familiar with this niche or business model?
Honestly, I think the best research you can do, either they can pick my brain anytime they want, but also just scroll through the Facebook page. Just look at the way that I've structured it, the way that I engage, look on the comments. And that's another thing. I go and if I see, oh, okay, that post went out at 8:05 p.m. Okay. Later on the next morning or later that evening, I'll go and I'll like some of their comments or I'll comment back like, oh, they're so cute or whatever, and they're coming from a place of honesty. And a lot of times something else I will do is I would say, oh, they're so cute. Can I share their photo and give you credit? And then, my next meme or photo that'll go out the next day will be their pet with credit to them. Because the people are always like, oh, yes, everybody wants to share their pet on the internet. So I think that's another way that I've connected. And I think the biggest thing, too, is a feeling of inclusivity. I'm really against getting on my soapbox and, animal abuse obviously is never okay. I'm never okay with that. But, there's people out there that want purebred pets and there's people out there who rescue and there's people out there who let their pets outside unattended and there's people who don't. And I don't place, a blame on them. One thing I'm like, you just got to love pets. As long as you love pets, you're one of us. I don't think somebody should be shamed because they chose to buy a pedigree pet. The pet still has a loving home and hey, they might have allergies. Maybe they can't have another kind of pet,
Absolutely. Yeah. It definitely sounds like you built a great following. So what about the advertising aspect of the business? Have you experimented with the placement of ads on the website or anything like that at all?
No, I just use Mediavine ads.
Okay. And I see you got an email list and you produce weekly email campaigns to that list, right?
I was for a while and I paused on it. It was getting a decent amount of hits, but I just didn't have the time and it wasn't getting enough traction that I felt that, it was absolutely necessary to sustain the success of the business. So it's just a fun thing to do to connect with people. And it was I think it was a slide in that we had on the site. We removed it, but those were the email followers that I gained from it. And it was pretty quick. About 6 months, we got that many, over 6,000. People liked the emails. They were really, I would get replies sometimes and I always try to make an effort to reply to the people. Usually they were nice. Very seldom are people negative or nasty or anything like that.
Okay, I guess that's good for a buyer to know, as that could be a potential growth opportunity for someone who knows email marketing.
Yes, I am definitely not an email marketer. So I think that's why it just wasn't as big of a thing to me. But I did enjoy and I meant to get, it was a 2021 goal. Oh, get back on the newsletters. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. For me, my main focus as a writer and an editor is the content. That's my main focus is that. But yeah, there's a huge, of course, if we're able to acquire that many followers that fast, they're very loyal followers. So yeah, I definitely think there's, room for growth for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. You've got to stick to your skill sets and use that to your strength. So what do you think the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
I would say anybody can get into Facebook. Anybody can do it. Use Facebook, just use it as a consumer. That's what I try to tell writers. Something I've always told people, if you know your audience, then that's what you need to know first. And I know the audience. We built the audience, but knowing that audience, knowing what pet people are passionate, pet people are, they love their pets. Pet people, they're crazy about their pets than people are about babies. So it's an easier niche to get into because you already have such a passionate following. People don't just like pets, they love pets, so that's something that helps a lot. That, eliminates a lot of the, oh, I hope they're going to like this. Yeah, they're going to like it. They already do like it. You already know that. So just Facebook would be the only risk. But if you've used Facebook even for personal reasons, why can't you use it for business reasons? I just keeping up with engagement is the biggest thing. And that's what I, just did an overview of the way I did the engagement and the way I know it's proven to work. Just focusing on engagement. You want to keep that engagement up. I know we all have, oh, I'm sick or I'm not feeling well. You can't not post on Facebook. You can't spend a week not posting and then wonder why there's no traffic. It's a daily thing. So that's why if it's something that you don't want to commit to personally, then just, outsource that. For me, I was able to commit to it. It's not a problem, but I've been doing this for many, many years. So it's just like, I can do it closing my eyes. So it's no big deal, but don't feel overwhelmed. There's so much opportunity and it's exciting. You see the posts do well and they're getting shared. And I definitely think outreach would be great too. You could reach out to brands or different sites. I would have a lot of memes made and such that had the logo on there. The more people are seeing your eyes to the brand, the better.
Absolutely. Yeah. Pet care is fantastic niche and very evergreen as well. So yeah, we've covered a lot of great things about this business, but just to summarize and package it all up, putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
I would definitely say that this is the business worth buying because if you just look at when it was started in August of 2019 and how much it's grown and how quickly it's grown and it's sustained growth, the sky's the limit. It could get bigger and bigger. For me personally, I'm a mother of 3 children. My youngest is special needs. I am very focused on his life. and that my passions are a little bit different and have shifted a little bit. I would love to see the business succeed. I would love to see someone take it and really just take it to the next level. I would love that, but I have to keep in mind I'm only one person. I think, there's a lot of potential for it. And I think the great thing is that the hard work is done. The content's king, especially quality content. There's a lot of people who get sites and say, oh, you can get an article written for $5. Okay, well, you're getting a $5 article. These are really good stories on there. This is really good evergreen content. This is quality. If you take a look at the numbers, how many sites link to us? It's a good site.
Absolutely, yeah. And you've put into the growth of the business is shown now with its success. So regarding the sale of this business, would you commit to a non-compete?
Yes, that is no problem.
And how much support are you willing to offer buyers? Are you going for the standard 30 days of email and Skype support?
Yes, that's fine. The standard 30 days in email. But if they ever had a question, I'm not going anywhere. They can always ask.
That's good for the buyer to know. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. Are you open to negotiating something like an earnout?
I am not open to that.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to share that I might have missed?
No, I think it's good. I think everything's sound. I tried my best not to ramble.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time, Marty. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you so much.
All right, everyone, thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 50877. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.